By far my favorite station.
You're the best. Oh, yeah.
I love you guys.
This is UK Talk Radio, with the music you love and the chat you enjoy.
By far my favorite station.
You're the best. Oh, yeah.
I love you guys.
Today on UK Talk Radio, we're talking about something which is important to all of us, cybersecurity. Whether you're an individual, whether you run a business, or whether you're a parent with children, cybersecurity is paramount. My guest today is Dewayne Hart, and we're going to talk about his fantastic new book, which is called The Cybersecurity Mindset, a book which can really help you to understand your cybersecurity and be safe and sound when you're online. We'll be finding out the answers to some important questions as we talk to Dewayne. We'll be finding out why human beings could be considered to be the weakest link for cybersecurity. If you have a business, we'll be finding out how you can improve your cybersecurity engagements, and there'll also be tips if you're a parent or an individual. But first of all, Dewayne, I'd like to ask you, what is the most simplistic definition of cybersecurity? I mean, we all hear the word mentioned all the time.
Well, cybersecurity itself comes in so many different folds. So when you look at the definition of cybersecurity, it's about trying to protect humans' data and business through controlling assets. Now, controlling assets is about trying to protect your data, trying to protect your personal information, trying to protect the information resources or things that are very vital. If I were to take a bubble and if I drew it around your life, and let's say that that bubble had all of the critical things that needed to be protected, right? And I could draw a pie in there as well too, where it comes to health, come to finances, come to education. So what cybersecurity does is serve as a shield so that unauthorized people or different systems or application cannot have access to that information. You as a person would control access by actually giving privileges to people that were deemed as a trusted source. So if we break it down, then cybersecurity itself is that shield that protects data and information for businesses, individuals, or for different type of technologies. Now, what hackers do is hackers try to defeat that concept. So their job is to gain unauthorized access and try to penetrate the bubble.
So a very important thing to have in place. Now, what was your purpose for writing Cybersecurity Mindset?
Yeah, it's very important to have in place because without cybersecurity, we would be at the back of trying to figure out why is our life so miserable. One of the ways I've always thought about cybersecurity is that it's a part of us. We cannot live, breathe, and walk without cybersecurity because we are now living in a digital world.
And that's right. Everything we do, whether it's our personal life or whether it's our business life, it relies on the internet, whether we're booking a holiday or whether we want our business to succeed. What are the most critical trends shaping and driving cybersecurity discussions?
One of the most critical trends that is shaping cybersecurity discussion today is ransomware, critical infrastructure, and your supply engagement, and also to your digital parent. And when it comes to ransomware, that's about hackers finding ways to lock down our computers and to cause our lives miserable so that we cannot use them anymore, but also too, for a monetary fee, they will release the control of the computer or the system itself. So that's very critical. One of the other areas too is this critical infrastructure. Critical infrastructure is about our utility plants, looking at the power plants, looking at the petroleum and industries, because those type of systems were never deemed to be IT-based systems. But over the past couple of years, those type of systems have become very IT-based. And if some of these systems were to go down, let's say, for instance, if it's a utility plant, it causes a lot of harm. It causes a lot of harm to people, one of the other areas too is that your supply engagement, because when you're working with different vendors and corporations have to share the same cybersecurity mindset. So that means that both of these entities have to focus on the same level of addressing cybersecurity, because when you hire vendors, they usually have access to personal data of your clients. And one of the other areas too that is focusing is digital parenting, because the youth itself has to be protected, because the youth are using a lot of smartphones and also different different kind of devices. Also too, I just want to bring into discussion that so much in the book of the cybersecurity mindset, the strong purpose of that book was to build a cyber focused attitude. So when you build a cyber focused attitude, that's when you can uh, tackle these critical issues like ransomware, critical infrastructure, and also to your supplier engagements, because humans themselves, they can become firewalls. Firewalls is saying that someone has a defensive mindset, and also too that they're actively involved, and also too that they carry a proactive mindset. So when all of this is happening, that's when these critical issues can be remediated. But it takes a large group of mindsets of people that want to work together in order to engage these issues and to make sure that they don't escalate.
So this is a powerful discussion, and obviously from what you're saying, it can affect anybody of any age group, because we're all using the internet, from children to our infrastructure. Now, why would humans be considered the weakest link as far as cybersecurity is concerned?
Okay, so I'm going to make a statement here, and the statement is that technology is a standard. Humans are not standard. So when we look at that concept, knowing that humans have flexibility. What I mean by flexibility is that through their behavioral patterns, they can either choose to be ethical or non-ethical, or they can do things in the wrong way, or they can do it in the right way. So when you integrate that into cybersecurity, it becomes a potential risk, because humans themselves are known to cause certain type of issues to occur, and humans themselves, if they're not trained properly, they can invoke more risks on a system. Let's just say, for instance, if you had a configuration settings on a system where it stated, okay, well, you have to have a 16-character password installed on this laptop prior to you logging on. Now, what if the humans can circumvent that settings where no one had to use a password to come onto a system? So what the human has done is circumvented technology, because technology comes with a standard. Now humans have a choice. You can either follow the standard, or you can try to break the standard. But in this case, humans have chose to break the standard. So when you have that happens, that's why you have risk. Now the way that humans can become very strong is that humans have to become a human firewall. So that means that they're going to have that defensive mindset, making sure that cyber awareness is also in place. Humans can tackle cybersecurity issues, but that also depends on the fact is whether humans are involved with certain different cultures, because certain companies are very strict on cybersecurity. So when humans are involved under the organization, they become very strict as well. And it's just vice versa, that if a company is very loose, then you find humans that are very loose. And so their behavioral patterns towards cybersecurity is just quite different.
So sadly, as they say on the TV series, the weakest link are human beings, and you've told us the reasons why we are the weakest link. Just to round off, it's been a fascinating conversation. How can a business improve its cybersecurity engagements?
Well, I would say that businesses themselves have to focus on four main levels. One is to build a cybersecurity culture. When you build a cybersecurity culture, what you have is a buy-in from all your managers, all your stakeholders, and all your different intricate parts of your organization. So that means that all genre of professionals are involved, whether it's the human resource department, whether it's your accounting department, or whether it's the IT department. So you build that culture first. Second level is to have that growth mindset. When you look at the growth mindset, what you're trying to do is to invest into technology and people. When you invest into technology and people, that's when you can grow your organization. And when you start to grow your organization, that's when the differences come. That's when the organization can become more resilient. This is when the true factors of cybersecurity, which is called increased protection and lower risk, occurs, because that's the premises of cybersecurity in itself, is to increase protection and also to lower risk. So when you can achieve that level, that's when you can grow and you can mature your cybersecurity program. The next level is just that you have to have visibility into your enterprise, knowing the threats that you're facing, knowing your different assets, knowing your different software program, knowing your weak points, knowing exactly what your capabilities are. Because if an organization do not understand their capabilities and weaknesses, that's when they are prone to become a victim. That organizations have to have a continuous engagement. So this means that you're fighting cybersecurity from the front line. You just don't wait and be reactive, but you stay proactive. Because I was questioned maybe a couple months ago by a gentleman. He goes, "Hey," he said, "if my organization isn't hacked, can I assume that we're safe and I will drop my coffee?" And I said, "No, because it's like a car. A car can have a bad part. Eventually, you keep driving it down the road, it's going to break down on you." So, in the art of cybersecurity, you have to have a continuous engagement. And see, that continuous engagement means that you are building your culture, that you have a growth mindset, because cybersecurity is always changing. And last but not least is that you have visibility into your enterprise and all the different resources, changes, and people as well too.
So some things that we need to look out for there, because we're protecting our children, we're protecting ourselves, protecting our businesses. We can find out more in your book, which is Cybersecurity Mindset. Tell us where we can find your book.
Oh, thank you. My book can be found on my website. It is DewayneHart.com is where the book can be found. And I also like to point out that readers of the book, you're going to gain valuable information. One of those is that you're going to learn how to simplify cybersecurity, because it's so complex today. And what the cybersecurity mindset does is simplifies information for you. Two is readers are going to learn how to operate cybersecurity. How do you really stay proactive? How do you break down cybersecurity in a format that is very simple for you, where that you can remediate issues? And this is for all genres. It doesn't make a difference whether you're in academics or whether you're in IT or whether you're a business professional. And last but not least, the cybersecurity mindset is going to connect the different layers of security together, because you have different programs and you have different issues that are happening. But in this society today, there's a gap in learning how to connect all of them together. And when you read the cybersecurity mindset, it's going to model a way for you to think and engage cybersecurity, so that you can build that cybersecurity picture and try to connect all the layers together.
Brilliant. Some fantastic tips. And we look forward to reading your book, which is Cybersecurity Mindset. Dewayne, thank you.
Thank you, sir.